Okay, it's about 8:30 p.m. on Saturday, September 6th. Our family just got home from the Native American Youth and Family Center annual powwow here in Portland, Oregon. And I'm going to talk more about Maxine Dexter's town hall from this morning. And speaking of, Maxine was at the powwow this evening. Now, my husband and my kids are citizens of the Chickasaw Nation, and Chickasaws don't dance in powwows, but we do go to support the dancers in the community there every year. My husband used to work at NAIA a long time ago, and it was really good to see that our congresswoman was there and supporting the event and the community. But earlier this morning at Reynolds High School, she had a town hall where myself and lots of other folks were there. Actually, the turnout was lower than it has been at other town halls. The last couple of town halls I went to of Maxine's, you could see that they were not as packed as the early ones. And I'm not sure if that's because folks are tired or it's just the wrong time of year. People are really busy. I'm not sure why it is that we are seeing reduced attendance at the last few town halls. I don't know if it's like that for your representative in their town halls as well. I'll get to it in a bit. One of the constituent questions was actually about that, expressing concern that people were feeling hopeless or were feeling less inclined to participate. I don't really want to calibrate the level of people resisting fascism by how many folks can turn out on a Saturday morning for a congresswoman's town hall. In general, I feel like the makeup of her town halls tends to be a lot of older folks, but there's still a fair number of Gen Z and millennials as well. Okay, so in the last video, I talked about Maxine's introduction, and then it is a Q&A. So people get a ticket, and if your number gets called, you can stand up and ask your question about whatever you want. You get 90 seconds. You can ask whatever you want. And I'm really sorry my neighbor's air conditioner kicked on. We have a very small house, and between my bedroom window, because obviously I film in my bedroom, and my neighbor's yard, I have this very, very skinny garden with pawpaws and elderberries and thimbleberries. And they're lovely, lovely neighbors, but their air conditioner is so loud and it's too hot and stuffy for me to close my window. So anyway, that was too much information. So the first question at the town hall was one that I know I am extremely concerned about. As you know, Donald Trump has threatened to send the National Guard here to Portland, Oregon. He's hated us for a long time, right? Let's just harken back to 2020. Here's what he said yesterday about Portland.
On the National Guard, have you decided which city that you want to go into next?
Yeah, I have. I have. I'm not going to say it now, but yeah, I have. We're going to go into another place and straighten it out. And I will say this: I watched today. I didn't know that was continuing to go on, but Portland is unbelievable. What's going on in Portland? The destruction of the city.
Are you going into Portland?
Well, I'm going to look at it now because I didn't know that was still going on. This has been going on for years.
Have you decided you
So we'll be able to stop that very easily. We'll be able to stop it. But that was not on my list, Portland. But when I watched television last night, this has been going on. You wouldn't be standing if you were the mayor. You would be. Can you imagine what they're doing? They're walking in, throwing smoke bombs into stores. These are paid terrorists. Okay. These are paid agitators. And they're very dangerous for our country. And when we go there, if we go to Portland, we're going to wipe them out. They're going to be gone, and they're going to be gone fast. They won't even stand the fight. They will not stay there. They've ruined that city. I have people that used to live in Portland. They've left. Most of them have left. But what they've done to that place is it's like living in hell.
As a resident of Portland, Oregon, let me assure you that every single thing that Donald Trump said just then in that interview is complete and utter bullshit. It's a complete fabrication. There's not people throwing smoke bombs into businesses. There's not paid agitators here. It's not like living in hell here. Portland is like one of the safest cities in America, even in the parts of the city that are considered like real sketch. It's not... Like, there's nothing going on here, you guys. Yeah, there's a sustained protest outside of the ICE building on Macadam Avenue. Do you know who's throwing the smoke bombs and who is shooting people? And do you know who is causing chaos in that neighborhood? It's ICE. The only problem Portland, Oregon has is the American Gestapo known as ICE. This is a peaceful city. Like, ask anybody who lives here. Just like there's nothing wrong with Chicago, there's no huge crime wave, just like there's not like urban thugs, right? All of that kind of racist dog whistle nonsense that Trump says about DC. No problem there. DC crime, 30-year low. I don't know what the fuck Donald Trump was watching on TV about Portland, Oregon, because there's nothing newsworthy happening here, except for all of the ways that our Secretary of State and our Attorney General are winning court cases and crafting policy to protect Oregonians against the fascist regime of Donald Trump. I mean, there's now a bipartisan bill that's been sponsored in the Oregon legislature to make it illegal for members of law enforcement to cover their faces and obscure their identity. It's a No Secret Police Act bill. I really think what Donald Trump is referencing here is Lori Chavez DeRemer, who is from Oregon, much to all of our shame, who got tapped to be Trump's Secretary of Labor. She made some statement a couple of days ago that was like, Donald Trump, please come to Portland, bring the National Guard to Portland. And I posted about this on my Blue Sky. I was like, girlfriend, keep Portland out of your mouth. Don't talk about us. You don't speak for us. You betrayed all of us. We don't want you here. So because of Lori Chavez DeRemer attempting to create problems for Oregonians by trying to curry favor with Donald Trump and saying, please send in the National Guard here. And then Donald Trump's concerning statement, it's totally understandable that the first question at the town hall was, what is the communication and collaboration between our representatives in Congress and our local city and state officials? So the question was, what's the plan to fight back? What can we do as Oregonians to fight back against Trump? Right, so the question was, what can we do to fight back? What can our elected officials do to help us fight back? And what can we do to protect ourselves from Donald Trump targeting us? And I know I've criticized our governor, Tina Kotek, a fair amount. I was like, where is she? Where is she? But I do think her strategy has been kind of to fly under the radar so as not to draw Trump's ire. But he's been pissed at us since 2020. And also Portland, sanctuary city inside a sanctuary state. Portland stands for so many things that are just so clearly polar opposite to what MAGA stands for. Human rights, freedom to be your true self, right? And of course, Trump then sees us as a threat because we are a shining example in many ways. I mean, Portland's got a lot of issues, but we're a shining example in many ways of how people living their lives in a way that's different to how you may live your life is not a threat to you. We can all peacefully coexist. That's what freedom is about. Self-determination, liberty. So I know that Trump likes to target us, and Fox News has really vilified us for a long time because we are living proof that the things Trump claims. So of course he's gonna come here and try and start shit, right? He tried to start shit in LA, didn't work. Tried to start shit in DC, not working. It's not going to work in Chicago. It's not going to work in Portland, Oregon. One of the things the Congresswoman said is that they are all coordinating across jurisdictions to try to protect Portland and Oregonians from Donald Trump. She emphasized having peaceful disobedience. And again, I would say not peaceful, it's nonviolent disobedience, nonviolent resistance. She said Trump has a story that isn't true. That he's trying to paint a story of our city that makes us sound violent, like a city in chaos, and that our job as Portlanders is to show the world that his narrative is false. This is exactly what I was saying about Los Angeles and DC. Trump is looking for Americans to start some kind of violent resistance against him. And keep in mind, Republicans think that destruction of property equals violence when it doesn't. He's looking for us to lash out in a way that can justify him being able to claim that there's a rebellion going on and be able to do something like invoke the Insurrection Act, whatever, right? He's looking for any excuse. So he's trying to manufacture a situation. He's telling everybody, these cities are violent. It's hell living there. Everything is chaos. Well, that's just easily demonstrably false. But what he's hoping is that he can put members of the National Guard into cities and invoke, create, incite a response. And we can't give him that, right? Just like folks in California didn't take the bait, folks in DC didn't take the bait. Portland, Oregon, we cannot take the bait. He wants us to smash shit. He wants us to get into an altercation with law enforcement that can justify him calling this a rebellion and seizing a bunch of our rights and advancing his authoritarian agenda. Our job as Portlanders is to deny him that. And I really appreciated the end of Congresswoman Dexter's answer to this question. She said, Donald Trump does have power. And if he uses that power to bully us, we have to understand that we also have power. We can stand together and not be intimidated. And just like Trump has been a big loser everywhere else, he'll be a loser in Portland.